Hello, I am Storyteller. I'm going to tell you a story today. It's about a fox, a rabbit, and a tortoise. So, once upon a time, in a land called Samsara, there used to live a fox and a rabbit and a tortoise. And fox and rabbit and tortoise were all good friends. And one day, it was Rabbit's birthday. So he decided to throw a birthday party and he called Fox and Tortoise to its home. So Fox and Tortoise left from their home to go to Rabbit's birthday party.
But rabbits don't have a house. They have tunnels.
Oh yes, that's right. So the
Those they don't have stairs. Only tunnels.
that's right. Rabbits live in burrows, which are like tunnels underground. So that's where Rabbit's house was. And he called Fox and Tortoise to come for the birthday party. Fox and Tortoise reached Rabbit's home and then they entered the tunnel and went inside the.
Papa, window भी तो है windows.
There are no windows in the house where the rabbit lives. It's underground, it's below the ground. So when Fox and Tortoise went inside the burrow, which is the rabbit's house, they found a really big hall inside and there was a cake and candles on top. There was also birthday caps. And so Rabbit's mama gave Fox and Tortoise and Rabbit one birthday cap each and then they lit up the candles on the birthday cake and Fox and Tortoise sang the birthday song and blew the candles and then Rabbit cut the cake, everybody clapped, they ate the yummy yummy cake. And then Rabbit said, let's go outside in the garden and play something. So all three of them came outside and started to.
Outside the tunnel, of course.
Yes, outside the burrow and the house in the garden. And they started to play in the garden. And they played hide and seek. Then they played Catch Me If You Can, and they played some other games like opposite words, similar words. Okay, and then they were tired, so they sat down on the grass. And Fox looked up into the sky and said, the moon is so white today. And Rabbit said, well, the moon is not that white. I am whiter. And Tortoise said, mm, that's true. I wonder which is the whitest thing in the world. And Fox said, well, I think it's snow. And Rabbit said, that's true. Snow is the most white thing in the world. There's nothing more white than snow. And then Fox said, oh, wait, I forgot there's something even more white. And Tortoise and Rabbit said, really? Is something even more white than snow? What is it? What is it? And Fox said, well, of course, it is the white dragon. And then they said, well, we've never seen the white dragon. Is he really very, very white? And Fox said, yes, the white dragon is my friend. It's very white. It's whiter than the snow. Tortoise said, have you met a dragon before? And she said, of course I have. And then Rabbit said, "Where does he live?" And Fox said, "He lives on the snowy mountain." And they were all talking about the dragon when Rabbit said, "Wouldn't it be nice to go and visit the snowy dragon?" And Fox thought for a while and said, "That seems like a good idea, but he lives really far. We'll have to go on a trip. It can take a couple of days to reach his house, but once we reach here, maybe uh, he will let us stay in his castle." And Tortoise said, "He lives in a castle?" "Of course," said the fox. "He has a big castle and he lives there alone. If we go there, we can all have fun inside the castle." And Rabbit and Tortoise was so excited. They said, "Wow, that sounds like a good plan." But Fox said, "Oh, wait, I forgot that the snowy dragon is a bit grumpy." Yes, he doesn't like when people do naughty naughty. And he can get very angry at times. And the rabbit and the tortoise weren't really scared, so they said, "Well, we are not that naughty. We can be nice to the dragon." And Fox said, "Yes, I think so too. So should we then leave and visit the white snowy dragon?" And Rabbit said, "Let me ask my mama." And Fox and Tortoise said, "That's a good idea. We both will go back to our home and we will ask our mama as well." And so they left from there, and everybody asked their mamas if we can go on a trip. And the mama said, "Okay, but be careful. You have to take care of yourself and don't get hurt." And so the next day, everybody packed their backpacks. They kept different things like some clothes. Um, what else did they keep in the
Papa,
backpack?
humans, we, Papa was skeleton, bones, bones, bones. We human baby has born 300 bones.
Human baby has 300 bones? Okay, but what has that got to do with the story?
No,
Yes. What did the fox and the tortoise and the rabbit keep in their backpacks?
clothes. Clothes.
And anything else you can think of?
I don't know. No.
Alright. I think that's all they kept. They just kept some clothes in their backpack, and then they said, "Let's now leave for the snowy mountain." So they started to walk towards the jungle, and the rabbit and the tortoise were just following Fox because she knew where the way was. And then they reached the woods. There were so many trees, and they were crossing the woods. And then they reached in the middle of the forest, and there was a cabin. Do you know what a cabin is? It's like a cottage, a hut, a house, a wooden house. So they saw the wooden house, and rabbit and tortoise and fox said, "Wow, this is a beautiful house in the middle of the forest. We wonder who lives here." And just when they were about to go to the door and ring the bell, they heard of footsteps and a voice. So they looked around and they hid behind the bushes, and soon they saw a little girl. She was wearing red clothes, and she had a basket full of apples in her hand. Do you know who she was? Who? Do you know the name of the girl? It was Red Riding Hood. Do you know Red Riding Hood? Who is she? So, Red Riding Hood is a little girl. She's so cute and she lives in the city. But she visits her grandmother and brings her grandmother food every weekend. And so she was here today because she brought apples for her grandmother. And the girl reached the door and she rang the bell. Ting tong, ting tong. And the door was already open, it seems. So she went inside the house, and tortoise and fox and rabbit followed slowly behind. The little girl went to a room and she was calling and looking for her grandma. She said, "Grandma, where are you, Grandma?" And she reached the grandma's room, and then her grandma was lying on the bed inside the blanket. And so she said, "Grandma, why are you lying inside the blanket? Are you not feeling well?" And the grandma said, "Rrr." And she said, "Haha, Grandma, that's a funny noise." And then she asked her grandma, "Are you hungry, Grandma? I brought some apples for you." And the grandma said, "Rrr." And then she said, "Oh, Grandma, that's funny noise you're making." And so she went and sat on the bed, and she touched her grandma and said, "Grandma, wake up, Grandma. Do you want to eat something?" And then all of a sudden, the blanket came off. And then she saw it was not her grandma, it was a big bad wolf. And the big bad wolf said, "Rawr, rawr, I will eat you." Rawr. And then the wolf was about to eat her. When she shouted for help, she said, "Help, help, help." And then the fox and the rabbit and the tortoise were just there outside. So they went inside the room and they saw that there was a wolf and he wanted to eat the little girl. So they all picked up a weapon. Fox picked up a bat, rabbit picked up a stick, tortoise got a sword, and they attacked the wolf. They said, "Ooh, ha!" And the wolf said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa." And oh, and then they fought the big wolves. And the tortoise hit the wolf in the tail, ting, and the wolf said, "Ah, ah, ah." And then they told the wolf to run away. They said, "Shoo away, wolf, go back to the woods." And then the wolf went back. He just jumped outside the window and ran back into the woods. And the Red Riding Hood thanked the rabbit and the tortoise and the fox. She said, "Thank you so much, guys. You just saved me today. Do you want something to eat?" And they looked at each other and they said, "Yes, please. We're really hungry. We have been walking from our house." "Where are you going?" said the Red Riding Hood. "We're going to the snowy mountain," they told her. And so they all sat down on the dining table to eat some apples.
But that is for grandma.
Yes, but the grandma is not there. Oh, thank you for reminding me. And so, that's what the rabbit and the tortoise and fox asked the little girl. They said, "Where is your grandma?" If the wolf was on the bed, and Red Riding Hood said, "I think the wolf ate her." "What?" they said. "That's so sad. The wolf ate your grandma?" "Yes," said Red Riding Hood, and she started to cry. She said, "Oh, oh, the wolf ate my grandma." Oh. And then they said, "Oh, don't cry, little girl. The wolf has to eat as well. It's a good thing that he didn't eat you." And so the Red Riding Hood said, "Yes, that's a naughty wolf. It shouldn't have eaten my grandma." And she said, "Thank you so much for saving me, guys. Now let's eat these apples." And so she started to cut the apples. But the tortoise said, "Wait, wait. We have to wash the apples first." And so they washed the apples, And then the Red Riding Hood cut the apples using a knife into slices. And then they all ate the apple. It was yummy. It was very, very red. Yum,
Papa,
said the
but
fox.
fire truck is red too.
Fire truck is also red. That's
And
true.
rubber too.
Roses?
Night ropes and rose.
Robes also and rose also. That's true. And the apple was also very, very red. And it was also yummy.
These are red too.
Pizza. It can be red and it can be any color. Okay. And so they all ate the apple and the
Full.
tummy full. And then I said, okay, little girl, now we have to go. And Red Riding Hood said, where are you guys going? And they said, well, we're going to the snowy mountain. Why? She said, because we have to meet our friend, the white dragon. Wow, said Red Riding Hood. I've never seen a dragon before. Are they friendly? And Fox thought for a while and said, mm, I'm not sure. I don't think dragons are very friendly, but if you help a dragon, maybe it becomes your friend. Okay, said the little girl. I would remember that. And then they said, yes, I think if you help somebody, they do become your friends, don't they? And they all nodded and said, yes, that's right. And then they all left for the woods again. And then they crossed the woods and then they reached a desert. And the desert was so hot, so they started to become thirsty. And they were walking in the desert and they realized, oh, it's so hot here. We didn't bring any sunscreen. What should we do? And so,
Only clothes.
only clothes, yes. And so, the next part of the story will tell you next time. For now, story finish. Do you have any questions? Do you want to ask me anything? No questions? Okay, story finished.